it's Chloe Blanchet, and I'm just going to take you through Google Analytics. For a lot of you, you have actually got Google Analytics, but there's so many reports, there's so much you can see and do that sometimes it just gets a little bit overwhelming. So I just want to show you the most important reports to look at and kind of explain why. You've got your main little sections, your real-time reports. I don't even ever look at this. The next one is your audience. So this tells you who's coming into your site. So what location they're coming from, what country, what city, what technology they're using, mobile or browsers. Okay, so in your overview area, you can have a look at how many people are visiting your site overall. So I've just picked a month here, and you can change your time frame at the top. We're looking at how many new users we had versus all users, which is important. So in this case, we've got 14% of users are returning versus 85% new users. If you're a retail store, for example, then you might want to have quite a few returning users. So the number of returning versus new users really depends on what business you're in. All of these statistics only make sense when compared with something else. So this month compared to last month, this year compared to last year. And what you're looking for is the change. So for example, here we have a bounce rate of 21.6, 21.7% bounce rate. If that goes significantly up, then we know that something's wrong on our pages and we need to address that. Again, if it's significantly down, like for example, it could go down to like 0%, then you know that there's something wrong with your tracking code, because it doesn't go down to 0. We can have a look at the average session time. In this case, it's nearly 2 minutes, but 1.5 minutes. And again, it's only this figure is only relevant for your site. So you need to know how long people are taking on your site, and you need to track that over time. Was there a change in that? So this gives you an overall view of your audience. There's a couple of reports that you want to look at maybe every quarter. One of them is the technology. So we want to look at what browsers people are using. If we scroll down here, okay, so most people are using Google Chrome, followed by Safari. So if we make sure absolutely 100% that our website looks good on Chrome and Safari, then we're going to hit 75% of our audience. Obviously, you want to try and hit 100%, but if you've got a PC and you're testing your website on Internet Explorer and your website looks great on Internet Explorer, that only represents for this client 8% of traffic. So really important just to keep an eye on this. And make sure that your website works well across all browsers. The next one to look at is mobile. So have a look at how many people are viewing your site on a mobile versus desktop. In this case, it's nearly 30%. So a third of traffic is coming from mobile users. So again, that's getting up there. For some sites, it's up to 50%. On mobile. So again, it's getting more and more important to make sure that your site works really well on mobile. And if we have a look down here, this is interesting, this column here, the pages per session. So on a desktop, people are looking at 2.85 pages per session, whereas on a mobile, they're only looking at 2.4 and a little bit more on a tablet. On a mobile, they're spending double the amount of time that they are on a mobile. And the bounce rate, that's okay. So if the bounce rate was significantly higher on a mobile, so the bounce rate is the percentage of people that left within the first 20 seconds. So if your bounce rate is higher on mobile than on desktop, then there's very likely something wrong, a link broken, or there's something wrong on the mobile version of your website. Like the sub-menus often might not be working, and so people can't find what they want, and so they leave. So that's something to keep an eye out for. And then we have just a quick squeeze at the devices. So here we go. We've got 43% of people on Apple, followed by everybody else. So significantly, you have to make sure that your site looks good on an Apple iPhone. Geography, let's have a quick look at geography. Depends on if you're a local Australian business or an international business, but this will tell you how many users came from different countries. So if you're an Australian business and you have lots of views from India or China, then it might look like your website's getting lots of traffic, but if you don't sell into those countries, then it's going to be spam or hackers or Eastern Europe as well. And it's just a generalization. I think Nigeria as well is quite high for rubbish kind of traffic. So you want to make sure that you've got most of the traffic from the area where you're selling the most. Okay, and you can just drill down into the cities. There we go, and we can see where most of our traffic is coming from by city. So that's interesting. And this report would be quite good, for example, if you were running advertising outside or advertising in a newspaper or just your normal or an email marketing campaign. You'd want to see in a particular town or a radio ad, you'd want to see a spike in a particular region if you were doing some ads. Okay, I'll actually show you something else while I'm here. If you go back to your overview, you can actually put some comments in. So let's say that this was a spike here. We can actually add a comment for a particular day. So we can actually say on that day, email went out to customer list. Okay, and that's why you got a spike, and you can make it visible for everyone in the account or make it private. So this can tell you, so for example, if you've got no traffic for for a day, if this all goes fully down to zero and then back up again, then it might be the server went down for 24 hours or however many hours. And that's really good to write that down, because then if you're searching, you go, why did that happen? This helps you to remember why there were variances in traffic, either up positive or negative. So really good to use that. Okay, so that's audience. So that's who's coming to the site. The last little report that's quite good is the user flow. So here we can put in the page. So this tells us what page they came in on. So they came in on the home page, and then where they went from there. This website's got too many pages, but if you have a site with less number of pages, then this report's quite good, because it can tell you where people landed on your site and what path they're taking. Okay, so that's it for that. Next is acquisition. So if we have a quick look, that's telling us how people are getting to your site. So have a look at the overview again. The overview is telling us that 77% of our traffic is organic, 15% is direct. We've got some referral. If you had pay-per-click Google AdWords, then you'd have a little slice here for AdWords as well. And we've got how many users that was, and on this site we've got a goal conversion. So a goal conversion, you need to set that up on your site if you want to track goals. It's what you want people to do on your site, an action. So you want them to fill in a form, you want them to download something, you want to click on the call me button, click on the email me button, click on the quote button. So a goal is what you want someone to do. And you might have a goal, for example, spend 2 minutes on the website, or click on a video, So you define what the goal is, and then you can track that goal. If you scroll down, it's telling you what the bounce rate is by goal. So organic traffic, they had a very low bounce rate, which is really good. They're kind of wandering around and looking. Now, but then referral traffic, so somebody that referred you has got a high bounce rate, but then of those that choose to stay, it's got a very, very high conversion rate. So because obviously it's someone's referred them, so it's got a high conversion rate. Versus organic, they're coming, they're looking around, but they're not necessarily doing anything. So again, interesting report. So that's acquisition. Now the next, Now in acquisition, the main thing you want to look at is the channel report. So this tells us, okay, organic traffic, social. If you click on social, it can drill down and it then tells you how many users came in on Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Twitter, on all your social media channels. And again, it can tell you your bounce rate and your conversion rate. So that's a really good report. So that was acquisition. You've got your overview, and then you've got your channel. They're the two that you want to have a look at in there. All right. Now you've got your AdWords. If you've got ads running, you'd have a look at that. The last one is your behavior. So that's telling us what are people doing once they are on the site. And for that one, we want to go to the site content, all pages. Now this is going to tell us how many people came to each page on your website, and importantly, what the bounce rate was. So this one here, this page here has got quite a high bounce rate. So I might go and try and improve that page so that people stay longer and are more engaged on that page. So that's quite important. The average time on page, if you've got pages that that have got very low time on page, you might want to have a look at that page and think, why is that? And pages with high bounce rate, you would want to go in and have a look at that page and change the page. Okay, so they're really the main pages. Okay, so that was an overview. The only other thing I'll show you is for each report, you can share your report or you can export the report. So export as a PDF or as Excel, or you can share your report with other people. And you can share it once or share it weekly, monthly or quarterly. So if you need to, even for yourself, set up a report that goes out weekly with your overview things, you can set that up and it's going to come out to you weekly by PDF on a Sunday or Monday or whenever you want. So it's always good to schedule your reports. So instead of going to all these reports, you can create your own dashboard. So create a dashboard and let's say start a dashboard. And then you can go and fiddle around with these things to work out what you want to know. So you might want to know by geography, by map, how many people were visiting your site. You might want to know by table the pages that they landed on, the pie chart, new versus existing users, or the pie chart, what channels they came in on. Okay, so I hope that was helpful.